What's going on, fam? I'm going to make this short today because I actually have a guest. I'm fucking pumped. So today's question of the day is, have you ever tried intermittent fasting? And if you have, what's your experience with it? If you're on YouTube, make sure to leave a comment down below. And if you're on any of the podcasting platforms, well, go to YouTube and subscribe and leave a fucking comment. Enjoy the show. What's going on, world? Welcome back to the Plants and PR's podcast. The podcast to help you move better, feel better, and in the long run, look a hell of a lot better. My name is Tyler Egan. I am a certified personal trainer, and today I have a very special guest. My man Raphael is back into his house.
What's up?
So we gonna turn up. Now we're actually just gonna talk today. We're gonna have some conversation. I kind of view this as like a good way for you and I to have like a little check-in here about where you're at with your progress, with your programming, your nutrition, everything like that. But more specifically, nutrition. I feel like in the podcast lately, I've been talking a lot more about nutrition, and I thought it'd be really awesome for people to hear a different perspective. Like you talk about things that you've done, stuff like that. I know you've been experimenting with some refeed days, some intermittent fasting and stuff like that. So I think it would be really cool to have a conversation about it, see where you're at, maybe offer some perspective to other people out there.
Oh no, definitely. I feel like obviously both go hand in hand.
Yeah.
What you do in the gym and how you fuel your energy to be able to complete a workout. I find that the easiest when you schedule you schedule your nutrition around your regular day-to-day schedule. So that definitely is the best way to set yourself up for success.
Yeah, and it sounds like you're actually really getting to a point where your nutrition's really dialed in. You're getting into a good groove. Your energy's up. You're feeling good, feeling strong. You got a lot of shit going on right now, so.
Nah, definitely. Like between school, my internship, working in general,
Yeah.
like it's a lot of meal prepping has literally saved my whole journey. Because I wouldn't be able, I probably would be, but it would be much more stressful if I hadn't meal prepped before.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I totally didn't mean to cut you off there, but for sure, I can totally see that. Just because it saves you so much time throughout the week. Could you imagine coming home from your 6 jobs and then having to get right into to cooking?
Nah, I don't think that would be an ideal situation. Like if you had to, you would have to find the motivation and the drive to do it, but. It's a smart way to plan around this. Like, even with what you mentioned at the start of the show, like the intermediate fasting. The reason why, me personally, I feel like that works for the way that I train and the way that I eat is because I find that in my diet, there's one thing, it's the hunger piece of it. Like, feeling hungry.
Okay.
Like, nobody likes to feel hungry.
Nah, man, it shit sucks. I'll eat my damn hand off.
So since I sometimes work long days from 7 to 9 p.m. at night, I like giving myself some time to fast so I could eat a little later in the day, but also that'll supplement me in my workouts and what I have to do day to day, get my mind going so I could do what I need to do.
That's awesome, man. I'm glad that you found something that works for you and what kind of works best for your schedule.
Yeah.
So actually, let's take a step back for a second here, just because I know you've been on the show. We did 2 episodes together last time, so let's just paint a picture for people who are actually listening. Where did you start in your journey? You and I started our fitness journeys around the same time, but where were you at exactly? What were your goals? What was your plan? Why were you getting into fitness so much?
At first I went into fitness because I saw a lot of my family members getting sick.
Okay.
When they were older family members getting sick, and I was like, I kind of don't want to go down that road because I saw myself letting my weight go.
Okay.
And there was a lot of things where, I was eating, and I wasn't happy with how I looked, and I wasn't happy with how I feel.
Okay.
Wow, feel, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you said right.
How I feel. So it's basically a huge drastic change to really change my mentality to be as successful as I could be.
Okay.
And I really locked in on that. It's a lot of trial and error, though, I would say.
Yeah, man, all of it, training, nutrition, all of it, man. It's definitely a person-to-person basis. I mean, I'm sure you've heard me talk about it a lot.
No, I would say that, there's a lot of cookie-cutter programs and all of that, but, to actually find something personalized that works for you is the best route to go.
Absolutely, man, absolutely. I mean, because, like you even said, you found what worked best for your schedule, and it may not work best for, let's say, my schedule. That's why everyone's different, and everybody is very unique, Okay, so you started... by losing weight, you didn't want to become sick like family members around you, right? Is what you said?
Yes.
Okay. what are your goals now? How have your goals changed? How has your training changed to reflect what your goals are now versus then?
Now versus then is that I'm trying to maintain whatever muscle I do have,
okay,
and add some definition into my body. Trying to, lean out in a sense, but still trying to maintain like the muscle that I want to have on my body. It's more than just losing weight now. It's I'm eating towards like goals that I have for myself, and as you know, like I want to build muscle. I want to be as healthy as I can be, working on my stamina, mobility, just things that all transfer to the gym.
Absolutely, man. It really is an all-encompassing thing. I mean, how much of a difference have you noticed with mobility work since we started implementing it into your training?
Definitely a huge change in just the way that I move and the way that I feel. Like my leg exercises it's like night and day. It's like before, like my squatting, it's still a work in progress. I don't feel like you ever stop working on it.
Nah, man, we're always evolving.
Yeah, definitely, and just the way that I feel the muscles now. It's like you did an episode I don't know how long ago about just feeling that mind and muscle. The mind muscle connection. And it's just that's so important, and it's so like ignored.
I completely agree with you on that.
It's like, I used to go to the gym at the start of my fitness journey. I used to flail around.
I actually to cut you off there, I actually referenced you in one of my more recent episodes. It might have been one of the ones you didn't listen to. I was talking about flailing around like a Magikarp. And I was like,
I'm telling you.
You always just go right to Magikarp. And it kind of makes me happy because I love Pokemon.
No, yeah. And it's like, because that's basically what I could, like, the easiest I could explain it.
Right.
It's like you're flailing around like a Magikarp. You're getting some movement in there, but what are you really activating in there?
Right, so really developing that mind-muscle connection has helped you a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That makes sense. And now you're not really focusing on the numbers as much, it seems like. You even told me you haven't weighed yourself in over a month. No, you're just going by how you feel and of course, how you look in the mirror, right?
Yes. And, because, I want to, be surprised in, some progress. Like, I've been really pushing these last 2 months more than I was before, but because I wanted to refocus on my fitness journey and re-understand exactly why I got into this and why I tried to take care of myself better.
Okay, that makes sense, man. I love it. I really do. It's awesome. So with all of this, Ralph has actually started 75 Hard as well, and you noticed like a tremendous difference since doing that as well, right? That's really helped you. You said dial in your nutrition, especially, right? You want to elaborate that a little bit more?
Hands down, just it's just so important having the 2 workouts per day, the 2 45-minute workouts. Like, it's a lot of people would see that as an inconvenience, but I see it as a challenge that could just make
hell yeah, dude! I fucking love that shit. I love that.
It's like I anticipate, like, I'm so happy to be able to perform these workouts, but to do that, I have to keep on top of my nutrition, because as opposed to when I first started my fitness journey, I used to be like, let me take in as little calories as I could take so I could lose weight. But then, like, now, if I was to do something like that now, I wouldn't be able to get through my day.
Yeah, man.
Like, there wouldn't be no way with the hydration.
This stuff goes a long way, right?
Just the mental toughness of not giving into like when you're having a bad day.
Yeah.
When you're just not feeling well.
Yeah, you don't let that carry over to like, I don't feel like working out when I get home. You fucking push through that shit and get done what you got to get done.
Definitely, because it's just, you don't want to let yourself down.
For sure. I couldn't agree more with that, man. For sure. I think a lot of people. That's actually a really good point. I think a lot of people let themselves down pretty quick. They don't even realize it.
Because, you set up this goal, and, and nobody likes to feel, disappointed in anybody, and, who else but disappoint yourself? That's rough.
Right.
That's
100%.
And, you have to find that mental toughness to get back on that horse. Keep going. Because, there's an end goal for everybody, but you're not going to reach it without doing the hard work.
Yeah, that's for sure, man. Mm-hmm. You actually hit on a point there that I want to come back to. Because you said how in the beginning you were finding yourself not trying to avoid eating to lose the weight rather than actually eating food. Mm-hmm. And since you started following more of like a meal plan or like a nutrition protocol, if you will, because I'm not a huge fan of the word diet, man. I think you should figure out what works best for you for long term. Find foods that works best for you long term, not diet down for 6 months to get in shape just to throw it all away later.
Yeah.
You said you used to eat little calories. Like, what's the difference you noticed more recently about your energy when you actually have food in you versus when you weren't, and you were trying to work out and stuff?
Energy levels definitely impacted my concentration in the gym. Because at first I would just go there just to get the workout in, just to feel like, okay, I went to the gym, so I'm okay. So
right.
That means
I know that feeling all too well.
Even if whatever I do after the gym, it doesn't matter because I went to the gym.
Okay.
Now I actually need like the extra protein that I'm taking in. The extra like carbs on my refeed days, just to like get through my week basically in a good way, because during the week, I'm intermittent fasting. I'm trying to focus on actually working those muscles and getting my nutrition dialed in, and then during my refeed days, I'm also doing that, but also getting a little bit more to recover, to do some active recovery.
Right, for sure, man, definitely. So I feel like I actually need to take a step back here because some people may not know what intermittent fasting is and refeed days. So I just want to do a brief description of it. Intermittent fasting is basically when you just kind of fast for the first few hours of the day. So in Ralph's case, you said you go till 2?
Yeah.
Okay, so what time? When's your last meal?
My last meal is around 9:30, 10.
Okay, so he eats his last meal at 10 o'clock at night, and then he doesn't eat again until 2 o'clock the next day. So that's a 16-hour fast. So that's the idea, just to get a certain amount of hours without food, I guess you could say. It's a way to restrict calories or keep yourself from eating as much throughout the day. Yeah. It's in my opinion, it's a tool to help weight loss. I don't. There's science backing up intermittent fasting, saying it's like the end all. It's great, whatever. I kind of view it more as a tool, and it seems like that's how you're using it. It restricts when you can eat throughout the day. The other thing you said you've implemented are refeed days. So for people to also understand that is. So Ralph's trying to cut weight. So what he does is once a week or twice a week?
Once a week.
Once a week he includes a refeed day where he eats a little bit above maintenance calories so that he can kind of give his metabolism like a jump start almost, because your body will adjust to a calorie restriction or what's the word I'm looking for here? Calorie.
Like you plateau in a sense.
Yeah, you do. You plateau in your weight loss. There was something specifically I was looking for, but I already forget. So anyway, you're doing these things, and they seem to be working well for you. The refeed days are bringing your energy back up, right?
Yeah.
And intermittent fasting works great for your schedule.
Yeah, and definitely, again, going back to the thought that do what works for you.
Yeah.
And also on these refeed days, even though I'm eating, like, a bit more calories, it doesn't mean I'm stuffing a burger.
Right, yeah, you have to have that discipline, Mm-hmm. It's not an excuse to, what's the word, stuff your face.
Yeah, like, pig out.
Yeah, exactly. To quote Jer Bear. Pig out. That's my mother, for anybody who's curious. So you're doing the refeed days, the intermittent fasting, it all seems to be working for you, right? Your energy levels are up. It seems like I haven't seen you in 2 months, and it really looks like you leaned out. So it looks like you're really fucking smashing your goals right now. That's awesome, bro. That's really awesome. So how is it? And your energy levels are good in training as well, right? You have. Even with your busy schedule, you're finding that you still have energy to get your workouts in.
Yeah, and even though I still have the energy, though, it's a lot of the mental part, too.
Yeah.
Like because I could have all the energy in the world, but I might come out from a long day of work and be like, oh, man, I just put in like a 12-hour day, I'm going to relax. No.
Well, so how do you get past that on those days? Maybe your perspective can change someone's mind to help them get past that.
I actually, I think about how I felt before I started this journey. I always try to reflect on how I felt at that moment, or how I felt when I missed that workout and decided to just sit down and drink or eat something that I wasn't supposed to eat. I always think about how I felt, how bad I felt, and then how good I felt when I crushed the workout, followed my meal plan, just hit my goals every day. And just the feeling of just succeeding in every day, because I feel like every day is a challenge.
Absolutely,
every single day. It doesn't, like you said, to not call it a diet. It's like what's wide known,
Yeah.
Everybody claims that everything's a diet, but it's more of a lifestyle, and not to sound cliche.
No, I hear you. You're good.
And I just remind myself of my little successes, because everything's a success. Walking into that gym is a success. Getting your food together is a success. I can't say success for some reason.
You heard me on the episode the other day where I couldn't say proper. What was it? I fucked it up like 4 times. So I totally get it.
No, it's like just getting into that mindset and reminding you why you got into this journey. This is what 75 Hard is for me. For me, it's reminding myself that my body is capable of more movements. My body is capable of achieving more. I never want to stop progressing.
Absolutely.
I never want to settle for anything with my body but positive things.
I couldn't agree more with that, man. Seriously, I think that's what it's all about. It's about treating yourself the way you want to be treated. Like, I mean, I forget who said it, but I heard someone say, like, treat yourself like it's somebody else you care about.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people do that, man. And there's such a negative mindset around taking care of yourself and really taking control of your health and wellness. I don't understand why it's so frowned upon in society these days.
It's like a lot of people just don't want to break that mold and get out of their mind and be like, oh man, what I'm doing is actually putting me in a bad state.
I wonder how many people don't even recognize it.
No, yeah.
It's sad because this is, I mean, I'm speaking for myself and I think you would agree, but I've never felt better in my life. Mental clarity, my mental toughness, the way I move and feel. Everything's clicking.
But hands down, I feel like it's important to get the awareness out there.
Yeah.
Like things like this podcast, it brings awareness to an issue that's happening. Because you would go to a doctor, and I'm guilty of it. I'll go to a doctor, he'd be like, yo, fams, you're obese.
Is that exactly what your doctor used to say? Yo, you obese.
Exactly in those terms. Nah, but he would be like that, and I'd be like, all right. And then afterwards, I would just go,
you wouldn't even think twice of it.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And it's a shame.
Because I would be like, oh, yeah, my mom always told me that we come from a big bone family. and they find, weight as being strong or being healthy. But as you stated so many times, being overweight, it's not healthy at all.
Right.
It's, actually bad for you in many other ways that's in the long term.
Realistically, it puts you at health or risk for more of these health conditions like heart disease, obesity, of course, overweight, but type 2 diabetes, stroke, things like that. If I can do something to fight against that, and I wish more people saw this that way, I'm gonna fucking do it. That's all I gotta say about that.
I know, and you're putting it out there, and it's really admirable.
Thanks, bro. I fucking appreciate that.
Of course, man.
I appreciate that, and I appreciate you doing this with me. I appreciate you having this conversation. For this actually helps me have a conversation with other people. It's easy for me to do it with Ralph because me and him are so close, but for other people, it may be harder for me. So this really helps warm me up, man. I appreciate you just as much.
Definitely, man. Same here.
So one thing you that I wanted to come back to. I wrote this down because I wanted to make it a point. Because you, above all the other people in my life, I think I've learned the most from you about this. But you can always push past yourself when you don't want to do something, whether it be a workout or something you got to do for school or work. Because for people that don't know, Ralph is working a full-time job. He's doing an internship. He's in school. He's still training 5 days a week. I mean, he's still fucking hustling and grinding, and there's no excuse for it. How do you get to that place? How do you find that the power to overcome the desire to not want to work out? Because there's a lot of people out there that do that, and you seem to have it down pat, so I'm curious.
I feel like it all comes back to your resiliency as a person. You set goals for yourself, but you need to understand that the only person that's going to have any effect on how successful or how much failures you have in your life is going to be you.
Amen to that. Yo, we're going to clip that up. We're going to clip that up.
I don't ever want to look back and be like, man, I should have did this or I should have did that. I don't want the what ifs. I want the I did that.
Hell yeah, bro.
I always try to give myself that ambition. Never stop being hungry. Because to reach your goals, you're going to have to put in the work. There is no pill. There is nothing that you're just going to start eating this fad diet for a month and just, everything's going to be perfect. You mentioned it too, people who get the lap band surgeries and the weight loss surgeries.
Yeah.
But what people don't realize is that that's not really teaching you how to live your life, how to eat food.
Yeah, you have to develop habits. You have to develop good habits.
Yeah. There's so many people who even after that surgery, they have to live on a restricted diet for the rest of their lives.
That doesn't sound like fun to me.
Eating 8 meals a day, but little portions. Who wants to eat like that?
Right.
Just before you even get that surgery, you could teach yourself to eat your veggies, eat the right protein, get away from the junk food.
Right.
Because just as simple as I could walk outside, go to Wawa, and get I don't know, one of those pork roll things. I could go to Wawa and get a fucking banana, Get some bread. I got some almond butter there. There's my meal right there. It's one of my favorite pre-workout meals.
Yeah, you can't go wrong there. You can't go wrong there with some almond butter on some motherfucking bread, people. You heard it here first. But actually, that's actually a good segue into the next thing. I did want to kind of round back to nutrition a little bit. Because it really seems like you're really starting to dial it in. So what have you noticed? Like, what are some things that have been working well for you? Like meal timing, or like you just said, a pre-workout meal, maybe a post-workout meal really kind of fills you up, makes you feel satisfied and satiated. What have you been noticing work for you? You've been increasing your protein.
Yeah, no, definitely. I increased my protein and I increased a little bit of my carbs because I realized that ever since I picked up, so I always tweak my meal prep for the week that I'm about to have.
Okay.
So if I know that certain days is going to be a long day for me, like Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday is for me right now, I meal prep a little heavier for those days so I could have the energy to get through the day.
Gotcha.
At the same time, it's like you still, like anything, you have to find what works for you. Like I found, like we were just talking the other day, like I realized from Chronometer, it's an awesome app, by the way. I like the sodium intake that I've been having, like.
Oh, okay.
I never realized that I was having like, I was actually kind of going over my sodium a little bit too much.
Yeah.
And I slowed down on that. I was like, oh man, dude, I'm always thirsty, like even though I drink like more than a gallon and a half of water every day.
Well, I'm pretty sure like sodium has something to do with like water retention, so that would actually make sense. I think it absorbs water. Yeah. I could have that wrong. Someone can fact check me on that, but.
It's like just little things like that, and like being able to have your energy for your workouts, because nobody wants to work out when they're exactly bottomed out.
Yeah, man, like dehydrated, hungry. Like, that sounds awful, man.
Like dehydration.
I just did a whole episode. I'm gonna plug the shit out of that. There's a whole episode on hydration. Go listen to it.
Think about that. I'm over here drinking this cup of coffee, and I'm parched, but I have water right there. But I'm gonna drink some water. Go. It's like all you need is like. It's the simplest thing, but I remember that I used to barely drink a cup of water a day. And then I'll be like, oh man, why is my mouth dry?
Right? Isn't that crazy?
And then, yo, come on, you idiot, drink some water.
It's the little things that we're just like, well, why isn't this working right? Well, you're doing something wrong, dipshit. Yeah, like, why aren't you losing weight? Well, you probably need to cut your calories. Maybe you're not training hard enough. Nobody wants to look in the mirror, and I really respect that you do that, man. You analyzed your food intake. You saw you were taking too much sodium. You realized that you were like dehydrated a little bit. You made that connection, man. That's what people need to do more of. Look at themselves in the mirror and figure out what's not working, man. And that's why I really want to talk to you about this, because it really seems like you're dialing in your nutrition. Your training's going well. You're really focusing on your movements, man. It seems like everything is starting to click for you. And I feel like you're the best person to talk to about this, just because where you started.
No, definitely.
How much weight have you lost since you really started your fitness journey? Just to give some context to everybody.
Comfortable, like depending on how I weigh next time, that I weigh myself, which will be soon. I'm trying to like aim for that 100 mark.
Okay, so let's paint a picture. You're about what, 5'8", 5'7"?
5'8".
Okay, so 5'8". How much did you, if you don't mind, how much did you used to weigh?
At my heaviest, I weighed 296.
Okay, so 296. He's just about. I mean, I thought you were under 190, but I mean, you're hovering around 190. So he's around the 100 mark, and that's what, 3 years, 4 years, almost 4 years, something like that.
But I've been grinding.
You've been grinding all the time. That's what I'm saying. I wanted to prove that point. Ralph is a perfect example. I was almost 100 pounds in like 3 to 4 years in that range. It's like it takes time. It takes hard work.
And I've had my hiccups.
Exactly.
Like, nothing happens like straight off the bat. Like I lost my most weight when I started working out at first because it was movement, it was activity. I was moving.
Right. You went from nothing to moving all the time.
Yeah. So of course you're gonna lose like a bunch of weight at the start, but actually to continue losing weight, I always feel like the first 10 pounds is the easiest.
A lot of it's water weight.
Yeah, and then like when you get low, you lose your 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 40 pounds. Like that's when it gets a little harder because you start plateauing on your
body adapts.
And that's when you have to mess around with your calories. Because I remember when I first started losing weight, I was still eating like 2,800 calories because it's just what my body was used to. I didn't want to bottom out. Like, right. I didn't want to have taken like 1,700 calories and be like, oh, Jesus, I wouldn't have survived.
Right.
I would have gave in to those cravings.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, and it's all about setting yourself up for failure, figuring out what works best for you, you know? And dialing it all in. I love it, dude. I really love that you're getting to this place where everything's starting to fall into place. And again, I just want to really hit this point home to people. 4 years, 100 pounds, almost 4 years. I'm ballparking.
Almost about 4 years.
It takes time. It takes a lot of hard work. You've busted your ass to get to this point. And you look fantastic, by the way. I haven't told you enough yet. You look fucking amazing. Thanks, hard work goes a long way, my friends. I'm sorry, go ahead. I cut you off. I wanted to
No, you're good.
Try that point.
I'm telling you, like, I just want everybody to understand that it's not, you're going to have those days where you're going to feel like you're not going anywhere and you're not getting anywhere, but always remind yourself of your goals. Remind yourself of your goals.
I'm going to clip that one up too, bro.
And then you'll realize why it is that you're doing what you're doing. Because it doesn't only translate to weight loss, though. It translates to everything you do in your life. Man.
I couldn't agree more with that, man. I couldn't agree more with that.
It's not only about like what you eat or how you train. It transfers to life, man.
How about how you treat yourself?
Yeah, that too. Self-love, man.
Yeah,
Self-love.
We want to talk about mental health, self-love, all these things. Let's start with taking care of ourselves. What do you think?
Yeah, man.
All right, let's fucking go. We're going to do it then. All right. We're actually going to wrap the episode up there today, guys. We got to dip soon because we're going to visit another friend of ours.
Oh, man.
And maybe we'll hit up another conversation tomorrow.
Yeah, man, I'm down.
And do this again. So if you guys took anything from this, if you guys liked hearing Ralph and you want to hear more guests, let me know. If you took anything from this, if you enjoyed the show, if you just want to tell me I'm cool, go ahead. But leave a rate and review on the show. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube. Leave a comment down below on what you want to see next. Yada, 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 all the things. Ralph, do you want to leave them with anything?
I just want to say keep it real. Be good. Be good people.
Yeah, I like that. Be some good fucking human beings. Let's change the fucking world, people. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace. Thank you for watching the entire video. If you enjoyed it, please hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, and stay tuned for more because I'm going to start uploading more podcast episodes here. And yeah.